This is the KNKA 2500 Sq.Ft dehumidifier for home with drain hose, max 34 pints. I've been using this dehumidifier for a while, and honestly, it's made a noticeable difference in how my house feels. Just looking at it, the KNKA gives off this clean, modern vibe. It's got a white body, rounded edges, and a subtle digital display right up top. At about 21 inches high, 13 inches wide, and a little over 10 inches deep, it's compact enough to fit pretty much anywhere, but still has a strong presence. It doesn't scream for attention, but blends in nicely with other furniture, or disappears into a corner if that's your thing. I like that the wheels underneath make it really easy to move around, and the leather handle on top is actually a lot softer and grippier than I expected. The digital panel is easy to see and use. I used to think things like humidity indicators were just overkill, but the LED light bar on this KNKA dehumidifier has actually been super handy. It shows you color-coded humidity levels, so you know at a glance if the air in your room is dry, comfortable, or getting damp. Blue means humidity is under 50%, which is generally great. Green is for the middle zone, and red means it's time to get moving and clear some moisture out of the air. I was worried the display would be bright at night or distracting, but it fades when you switch to sleep mode. From my experience, setting this up took less than 5 minutes. I basically wheeled it to my basement, plugged it in, and ran through the controls. It's basically plug and play. There are 2 ways to get rid of the water it collects: manually with the tank or using the included hose for continuous draining. Honestly, the continuous drain option is what I ended up using because my basement tends to get swampy. I really didn't have the patience to keep emptying the tank over and over. The tank itself is pretty easy to pull out and dump, but it's on the smaller side at just a bit under a gallon. For anyone living in spots with heavy humidity, I'd recommend the hose method. I appreciate the digital humidity controls, especially because you can set a target humidity and just leave it alone. So if you're not familiar, humidity is how much moisture is in the air. Too much, and your place just feels sticky. Plus, there's a bigger risk of mold. For me, I set mine at 50%, which seems perfect for keeping away that musty smell, but not so dry that you notice it in your breathing or skin. The automatic shut-off and restart are really useful. If the humidity gets too high, the machine kicks on, brings everything back down to the level I set, then turns off until it's needed again. That also keeps energy consumption pretty low. I was a bit skeptical about energy usage since these things can add up over time, but it's been efficient. I've left it running for days and haven't noticed a scary spike in my power bill. Noise was another concern for me. I've used dehumidifiers before that sounded like a plane taking off. That wasn't the case here. Even on the higher fan speed, it just sounds like a quiet background hum. On low, you can barely hear it. I love that in sleep mode, the lights go off and it gets even quieter. Honestly, you forget it's even running. I keep mine near the laundry area, and sometimes I use the dry mode, which is basically designed for helping your clothes dry faster. I just hang the clothes up, set the dry mode, and it actually helps speed things up when the weather is humid outside. For anyone used to doing laundry in basements or places with less airflow, that's a nice bonus. Physically, I can see the benefit of the washable filter. It pops right out from the top, and all you need is a quick rinse under warm water. I probably do this every few weeks, just to help with efficiency and avoid dusty smells. I haven't had any issues with the filter clogging or smelling weird, which is good. Maintenance with this unit is honestly easier than I expected. Also, the smart safety features like automatic shut-off when the tank is full, memory after power outages, and child lock do give some peace of mind, especially if you have kids or pets around. If I had to point out things I wasn't sure about at first, the build quality comes to mind. There's a lot of plastic. It's sturdy, but I'd be careful not to drop or knock it over too hard. Also, the included power cord and hose are a bit shorter than I hoped, so for some setups you might need an extension cord or a longer hose. It wasn't a deal breaker for me, but something to know before setting it up in a big basement or far from an outlet. Key features that have really stood out for me include how easy it is to set up, how quietly it operates, and how effective it is at keeping humidity down. It's perfect for spaces up to 2,500 square feet, which is enough for most basements or even a main floor. I also really like the auto defrost and overload protection. Basements around here can get cold in winter, and I've had old dehumidifiers freeze up or even break down as a result. I haven't had that problem with this K yet. In my opinion, anyone dealing with too much moisture, whether it's a basement, laundry room, or even a big bedroom, could get good use out of this. It doesn't take up too much space, looks nice, and gets the job done without a lot of fuss. The continuous drainage feature is a lifesaver if you don't want to be emptying tanks all the time. I'd recommend this for someone who just wants something that works reliably and quietly with simple controls, without having to babysit it every day. It's a good pick for families, older folks, or anyone who doesn't want extra complications. In conclusion, this KNKA Sq.Ft dehumidifier is a solid choice if you're looking to keep your home free of that sticky or musty feeling. The performance has been dependable, the maintenance is straightforward, and the controls are friendly, even for someone who's never used anything like it before. It might not be the most premium thing on the market, but for what you pay and what you get, it's more than worth it in my experience. If you're on the fence about which dehumidifier to get, or even if you're just starting to think about humidity control, this model is definitely worth a look. You can find detailed information about the KNKA Sq.Ft dehumidifiers for home with drain hose max 34 pints in the comments section. See you in the next video.